Guys, I know it is so cliche to call anything new in the fishing industry a game changer. You hear that word all the time from pros and influencers, but this brand new big swim bait really is going to revolutionize swim bait fishing as we know it. Let's talk about this bad boy.
Oh, here he comes.
Got him.
Bro, that was sick. Bro, that was sick. Look at that thing. Oh my gosh. Oh, bro. Oh, bro. That's a big one.
Got him. He got him that time. Well, all right, guys. I've got your attention, right? I've been holding out on you. I'm sorry, guys. I've been keeping a secret from you for probably about a month now. But I had to. This bait was not yet out for the public. But now it is. You can find it probably in like any major retailer that carries Berkeley stuff. I know it's on Tackle Warehouse, but guys, that is the Berkeley Shop Block. All new, soft body swim bait. This thing is the real deal. And I'm gonna sound cliche like I said in the intro, but this thing really is a game changer. Berkeley has stepped up their game with this bait right here, guys. And so we're gonna kind of walk you through all the specs of this thing, kind of talk about what makes this special, all the sizes, some of the colors, how I've been fishing it to catch fish, and of course my gear and all that. So guys, let's talk about it. So a lot of y'all know that I work for Justin Lucas, and you know, he's a big Berkeley guy. And one day we were out filming and we started talking about swim baits and stuff. Me personally, I've never really been super intrigued by soft body swim baits. I've really just started getting into glide baits this year. Been learning a lot, and I'm super addicted, guys. I've started dropping a lot of money on it. Don't tell my wife. But I'm slowly adding to my swim bait arsenal. I've probably got like 600 bucks worth of swim baits now. And I know you big swim bait fanatics are like, 600 bucks? My swim bait arsenal costs more than my house. But yeah, guys, I've been slowly adding to my arsenal. I've actually got a couple more on the way from Tackle Warehouse, but you're gonna be seeing a lot of glide bait fishing, big bait stuff this fall and into the future of the channel. But anyways, guys, so first time I ever fished this, I had the best day of glide bait fishing I've ever had. I think I only boated like 14.5 pounds, but I hooked at least 20 pounds worth of fish, and they were just coming unhinged on this thing. So I've been keeping this content from you for, you know, like a month now or so, and I've been so ready to post it because this thing is insane. So what makes this one different, right? So if you fish with glide baits and you have forward facing sonar, you know that your hard glide baits always attract fish. You know, they just have that drawing power to draw any type of fish off of, you know, rock pile, brush pile, grass line. It's gonna draw your fish a ton. So if you're working your bait and you have a less aggressive fish, and so as you work that bait, that fish is behind it, just slowly inching on it, and they'll do that all the way to the boat. And it's like, dude, what the heck do I have to do to get those fish to bite? And you know, if a fish is aggressive, you're not really gonna have a problem catching a fish on it. You know, just if they're aggressive, just keep on keeping it away from them, play cat and mouse, get that fish's attention, and there's a pretty high chance that you're gonna catch that fish. But anyways, those less aggressive followers that you get with your hard glide baits, you can catch those fish now. But we're filming this in September, right? So I don't think that glide bait bite is near as good as it should be. It's definitely not at the peak time here in Alabama. I think October, November is really gonna be good for the glide bait. So I'm excited to really put this thing to use. But it just works very well on those pressured fisheries, those less aggressive followers that you get on, you know, your typical hard baits. So let's talk about the bait itself real quick. This plastic is very, very durable. You can see I'm putting a lot of pressure on it and it's not giving. And so I'm really impressed with the quality of the bait. And then it's got a very wide tail kick on it. So when it's in the water, the thing is just like very wide tail kicks, and I like that. I like that a whole lot. And so what I've been doing on those more aggressive fish is I'll cast it out there, I'll let it sink. Like for instance, I was fishing a rock pile and like 8 foot, these fish were hugged tight to the bottom, and I would probably let the bait sink in 2 to 3 foot, and I would run it, I would just slowly crank my reel. And so when you're slowly cranking your reel with this bait or giving it a real twitch, it's gonna cause that bait to glide at its widest. So that bait is gonna go as you're twitching that reel. But if you want it to be more choppy, I guess that's what the swim bait people call it, is I add a little rod twitch in with my reel. So I'm saying reel, rod twitch, reel, rod twitch, and sometimes doing it at the same time. And what it's gonna do is when you're just using your reel, that bait is gonna glide at its widest. It's gonna be kicking in like that. But when you add that chop, it's gonna make it like not as wide. So it's gonna kind of like chop through the water like that instead of opposed to your wide glide. And it's just something different. I feel like those fish that are racing up to it really fast, they like that more faster twitch, that little chop. Your less aggressive fish, sometimes you just gotta wide glide and let it stall. And this bait like slowly sinks. So whenever you stall it, it's gonna sit there for a second before it starts to fall. But I really like the design on this harness. So what it is you've got these heavy duty snap rings and you've got your treble hook. So one hook goes into the body, of course, but it's on this rope harness system. So I'm gonna do my best to get this in frame. So it's got this little clip right here, and you'll take one hook of your treble, put it in there, and snap it into place. And then there's a piece of like heavy duty rope, which I think is really cool. I like this rope design on it. And it goes back to your stinger hook. It's a treble hook without the third hook pretty much. And so there's a magnet system right here, and you just tuck the shank of that hook in there and clip it on the magnet, and boom. So whenever you catch a fish, that magnet's gonna pop off, and then the treble's gonna pop off too, to allow that hook to get separated from the bait and help you on your hookup. So these are very heavy duty hook. I haven't had any bend out or anything on some fish. I will say big glide baits are notorious for losing fish. So earlier in the video I said I boated about 14.5 pounds, but I had about 20 pounds worth of bass hook, and I lost several. And I think some of it was user error, because I was like a little kid in the candy shop. I was pulling the trigger. If I seen those fish race up on the live, you know, I was starting to get a little antsy and I would kind of pull it away from them. Sorry, I think you would too. Because I'm telling you, you could probably see it in my chesty footage, but like when I brought that glide bait over the rock pile that the fish were hug tied on, they just shot up. Like as soon as the bait got right over them, it's like a straight shot. And they raced up to it so much that my Mega Live up there looked like a daggum fence post up there, like it was a solid piece of tree or something, because that fish shot up and caused so much wake. It was absolutely insane. Got him, he got him that time. No, bro, he came off. What? But guys, there's a lot of potential for this bait. Me fishing more of that shallower offshore structure, like 5 to 10 feet. I didn't weight it, but you can weight it. I pretty much just cast it out there and let it sink a couple feet down. That way the fish could see it a little bit better, not have to go as far to get it. You know, a lot of times that's going to intrigue the fish to bite, you know, more times than not. If he doesn't have to go as far to get the bait, he will probably bite. But there's a lot of potential fishing the way I did and fishing on the bank. You can really find those fish that are hooked up tight to the bank feeding and all that. But there's also potential for deep fish. You can put a nail weight in the head of this, or anywhere down here in the body, really weight it. That way you can get those deep summertime bass on the ledges and all that good stuff. I haven't personally tried that yet, but I know it's possible, and I know some guys that have been catching them doing that. And also I really like the tails on these baits. It's that plasticky, I really don't know what material that is, but it just really looks like a legit fishtail whenever it's swimming through there. But anyways guys, this bait comes in a 6-inch, an 8-inch, and a 10-inch. This one is the 8-inch, and this is the one that I've found to have the most luck on. The 10-inch still intimidates me a little bit. That's a pretty big bait. You know, Justin tells me all the time a 2-pounder will eat a 10-inch bait, but guys, I just haven't thrown it much. I've tied it on just to test it, and dude, that thing is freaking gliding like crazy. But I'm gonna have to really get out there on Gunnersville where the biggins live and try that more. But the 8-inch has been my favorite. I'm probably never gonna throw the 6-inch, just because if I'm throwing a glide bait, I'm gonna want to throw a big bait and target more of those bigger bass. But guys, this one right here is the 8-inch. This is the one that I've been catching most of the fish on. And this is more like I think they might call it like a natural shad or something. I'm not exactly sure on all the names of the colors yet, but this one has done the most damage, caught the most fish, and it's really not that big. It's not too big to get bit on, whether it's a 6-pounder or a 2-pounder. Here's kind of a size comparison. This one is the 10-inch, and this one is the 8-inch, guys. But guys, like I said, I haven't thrown the 10-inch much. The rod I have it on is definitely too small, but for that more chopping action, I like this lighter rod. So mainly on the 8-inch, I'm throwing a 7.6 heavy Ducket Pro Series. And while you might not get as much casting distance out of this smaller rod, you can still chunk it out there. I can chunk it at least 80 to 100 feet. But with this lighter rod, you really get that action out of it whenever you're shaking your rod tip, getting that more chopping action. So I like this. Now, throwing the 10-inch, I think you need a little bit longer rod, but still stay with that heavy action. A lot of people will be like, man, throw the extra heavy, but I would like to have a little bit more action in my rod tip and get more action out of that bait, and maybe have to horse the fish a little bit more or fight it a little bit harder. So it's give and take. If you take a bigger rod, you're not gonna get as good of the action out of the bait. With this light rod, you can really tell when the bait is working right, and I just don't think you can do that with the bigger rod. But the 7.6 heavy is perfect for me for the 8-inch. Definitely would probably bump it up, do a little bit of heavier or longer rod for the 10-inch. But guys, here's a couple colors. This is the hitch color. Looks kind of like a blueback herring, something that I would throw in Smith Lake. I don't know. I have a little struggle with confidence throwing a big bait on Smith unless it's the springtime. This one's the chrome gizzard. I think this is the 10-inch model. I think that's the same color I have on the 8-inch that I've got tied on. And then this one that I've been showing off is more, I think it might be like a green gizzard or something. It's got a little green on there. It looks like the natural shad down here, but got more of like a green top on it. But guys, I'm really excited to be able to share this bait with you. It's caught me a lot of fish, and it's definitely going to catch me a lot of fish, and I know it can for you guys too. So guys, if you're struggling with glide baits, you just get a whole bunch of followers, can't really get any to commit, I would highly recommend trying the new Berkeley chop block. This thing is legit and my favorite glide bait. Guys, I want to thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, stay tuned for more content like this, more big glide bait stuff coming this fall. Thank you again for watching. We'll see you in the next one.